What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sherdog.com's live chat, also known as The Trenches. Once again, I'm joined by a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway.
And yeah, give me an introduction. I'll take it.
I mean, he's the man with the flyest fade in MMA media. He's also the man who's known as Captain Credential out here in these streets. Photojournalist extraordinaire. Sherdog's answer to Peter Parker himself. Mr. Jason Burgos. Mr. Jason Burgos, how are you doing today, sir? Thank you for blessing us with your presence.
I mean, I'm always, I had a bit of reputation on Fight String Podcast for my intros, but I mean, I'm glad to have encountered someone just as appreciative of a good introduction. I am fantastic. How you are very well adorned in Marvel gear. I'm very appreciative of the hat, the collage hoodie, the Avengers shirt. I mean, it is full adornment here.
Oh, you know what? And I also let me get this out here.
Is it the wallet? The wallet too?
Oh, you know it. You know I gotta show the wallet. There it is. Unfortunately, the style now, people wear tighter jeans. Because back in the day, I could just reach in my pocket, pull out a fucking tank.
All right, the cargo's like 7 pockets. Ah, yeah.
Punisher wallet. So
and we well beat up too. To really,
it's lived in. It's very lived in. Yeah, man. So definitely, we're both fellow nerds, and this is a sad time, mourning the death of Stan Lee. I mean, granted, the man was 95 years old, so he lived a full life. He did some incredible things that really changed the world, and I don't say this as hyperbole and nerd speak, really changed the world. When you look at the people who expressed their condolences, expressed their gratitude for what he was able to do, everybody from all walks of life felt some inspiration. I know I personally would not be the man I am today without the influence of Marvel superheroes and just comic books in general that just kind of give you, an escape from life, and at the very least, if not inspiration. So definitely want to give a firm salute forever to Stan Lee. Much appreciate your work, and also in tribute to Stan Lee, I did a little piece that just dropped a couple hours ago called Excelsior, the Marvel MMA crossover. So check that out. I just kind of freestyled a little bit, a few fighters that I thought translated well to the Marvel universe and what characters they corresponded with. So I'm thinking about doing future editions. Oh, yeah. So Dana White's the Kingpin. I mean, that's just that was just a little too easy for me.
That or Doom. He's very Doomish too.
You know what? Dr. Doom was one I thought about too. I thought about that, but the look, I mean, he looks like Kingpin too. So we had to throw that in there. Yeah, so it's a little hint to that. I did take the one easy route was Captain America being Randy Couture. That was the easy one. I had to be talked into doing that one because I wanted to flip it, but I couldn't find a more appropriate guy.
Who was the other choice?
My other choice was Frankie Edgar. New York born
Winter Soldier.
You know what? That actually wouldn't have been a bad idea. But I thought about him because he's from New York, because he has that never die attitude.
Well, not Frankie though. Frankie's from Jersey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Long Island. Yeah, I'm thinking that whole crew.
What about Chris Weidman?
Chris Weidman would have been a good option. Yeah, you're right. But it's like that area, New Jersey, is essentially New York. So whatever. So,
that's why they call it well connected in Connecticut.
Yeah, so thank you, because otherwise I'd have looked like a damn fool out there putting out incorrect information with a trash ass article. We can't live like that.
The trashing begins.
The trashing is here, ladies and gentlemen. The trashing is here. So, all right. So let me make sure that we got our questions in order. But I think I know we have a question that is pertaining to the breaking news. The breaking news. If you have not heard, Nick Diaz is slated to return in March against Jorge Masvidal. I believe that's UFC 235 in Vegas. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but that seems to be it. So, looks like my questions ain't coming in yet. But you know what? We'll just freestyle off that matchup. Tell me, what do you think of that matchup? Who do you think wins? How it's put together, et cetera, et cetera. Just freestyle your thoughts on that one.
I mean, that's fascinating. This is the first I'm hearing about it, so that's actually pretty cool. But it's a kind of a, like, I'll believe it when I see a thing. Like, we all thought Nate was going to fight, that didn't happen. Nick Diaz has been fighting. I mean, talking about fighting and hasn't for a while. I mean, I'm glad to see him fighting because I was just absolutely tired of like MMA media stories of him saying or his brother saying he could beat or fight this guy and win. It's like, at least he's actually going to do it now. But as the matchup goes, that's interesting because Jorge Masvidal can be a very bad man. Like, he's a tough matchup for everybody. No one beats him easily. He's very hard to deal with. And I would think on paper at this point in their careers, I feel like if you would have asked years ago, I would think Nick wins. But the inactivity, he's slower. Masvidal's faster. Just the question for Masvidal really is just going to be how he deals with the range. And also, I mean, like every Diaz opponent, he has the crazy output, just like his brother. So how does Jorge deal with that range, that length, and the output? Because he could take a punch. Jorge's not a guy that's like a one-punch, back-you-up guy. He's kind of a accumulation if he is going to stop you, like he did with Donald Cerrone. So if he's not making Nick Diaz back up, it could be fascinating. I don't think Nick's going to take him down. So either way, it'll be crazy to watch. Hope it happens. Hope each guy makes it there. But hearing about this, that's exciting. That's a main event to me.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely main event material. That's I can't wait to see this fight. But here's the thing that trips me out the most about it. So Nick Diaz, he has held out against so many offers. I believe they tried to match him up with Bisping at one point. I think Machida was being discussed at one point. Who else? I know it's another big name that I can't think of off the top of my head, but Nick Diaz has been offered many fights.
Yeah.
And he has turned them all down. Now, Jorge Masvidal is the guy that deserves the big fights that nobody really wants to fight.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a guy that can nullify just about anybody. If he doesn't, you think about how many people have actually looked good in defeating Jorge Masvidal.
Nobody.
Not many. And you may win a fight, but you might be Ally Quinta yelling and cursing at the audience about the decision. You might be that guy.
Yep.
There's not the only time I can clearly remember Jorge Masvidal really getting worked over, I think, was Gilbert Melendez in a Strikeforce title fight. That was okay. I guess I got to rewatch that.
Melendez fan, and I remember when they fought, I wasn't too big. They didn't know Masvidal too much, and I remember watching. I was like, "Damn, why he's having a hard time? This guy, he might lose." It was close. The one that I thought you were gonna say was the Toby Mata, because he was the guy that got the
Toby Mata. That's
triangle.
That's right. Yeah, he got that inverted triangle on that. Yeah, you're right on that one. Good call on that one. So I got to rewatch that Masvidal and Melendez fight. But yeah, man, like. Jorge Masvidal is a guy that can just stifle anybody. So if you had to say, okay, what's Tyron Woodley's nightmare matchup in welterweight? Jorge Masvidal is that guy. Yeah. If you ask me, if you ask who Kelvin Gastelum's nightmare matchup, if he were to return to 170, Jorge Masvidal is that guy. Yeah. If you ask me who Colby Covington don't want to fight, Jorge Masvidal is that guy. So this is very, and then also it carries very little name value as far as the casuals go. Yeah. And you would think Nick Diaz would come back and want to fight the biggest name possible. I mean, it took Anderson Silva to bring him out last time.
Yeah.
Before that, it took George St. Pierre, I believe. So, you're seeing this line of great fighters, and not to say Jorge Masvidal isn't a great fighter. He just doesn't have great appeal to the casual audience. And that's the biggest question mark in there for me. But also, it shows that either one, Nick Diaz really needs to fight, or he really wants to fight. And I think either one of those scenarios is going to be good for our entertainment's sake. So I'm there for it. I'm happy. Maybe I'll actually be there for it if Crave cuts the check.
Where's it happening at?
It's in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. So Mr. Crave, what up? Cut this check, my brother. Cut this check. Stop playing with my damn emotions. I'm still on my homie's mic right now, and y'all still ain't cut the check. All right, let's cut the games, but let's start cutting the check.
You need to put a sticker right on the mic facing the camera. Cut the check.
Yes, cut the check. And you know what? I forgot to put my little tag joint at the bottom. So man, I'm super trash for that. You talk about the last minute setup. This that was ultra trash, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jorge Masvidal, Nick Diaz, expected in March. Hopefully nothing happens to make that matchup fall through. Should be a very exciting fight. Let's see if they trust the Diaz brother to main event this time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's not have any more main event debacles with the last name Diaz attached to it. All right. So
I got a question for you.
Yeah. What up, man?
Who do you think in the fans' minds is the more popular Diaz, Nick or Nate?
I'm gonna have to go Nate as far as the casuals, because Nate fought Conor and he gave him such a good fight the second time around, beat him the first time. The press conference footage, they're throwing stuff at each other, and everybody's on steroids. There are a lot of really good, memorable moments between that very brief amount of time that they spent in front of one another. Nick Diaz has been more of like the slow burn of MMA. Like, we knew Nick Diaz was special as diehard MMA fans for a very, very long time. We knew that when he was battling KJ Noons in Elite XC. Like, we knew.
That was so fun. He got shitty because he lost. He ran away. It was weird.
Yeah, so we definitely have appreciated Nick Diaz for a long time, but as far as the people who only watch those big events and only watch with the letters UFC attached to it, you might not have known who he was until George St. Pierre went to his dark place or whatever. Like, you may only understand him from that point on, and also with the time off. I mean, the guy hasn't won a fight since what, 2011, 2012, something like that. I think it was against BJ Penn.
Yeah.
So it's not as much reference point for casual fans to follow. But
what about the diehards? Who do you think gets more excited from the diehards? Who do the diehards are more excited to see? I'd probably say Nick, because he's just crazy. This man laid down on the floor fighting Anderson Silva, showed him his booty at one point. He's a madman. Yeah,
I definitely got to agree with you on that. I think Nick is the one for the diehards because he's the original.
Yeah.
You know, Nick, if you understand Nick, you understand Nate. They're very similar from their fight styles to their personalities, the way they talk. If there's everything about them is essentially the same. The only difference is sometimes they have different haircuts.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of it. But the diehards respect that Nick Diaz was the original outlier. He was the original bad boy of the mixed martial arts world. He's the original guy that bucked the system and just kind of played by his own rules and smoked a lot of weed in the process. Yeah. So I think that'll be my pick for the diehards is Nick Diaz as the number one. So let's start getting into some real questions right here. The question feed is up and ready to go. So I'm going to fire away with number one. And you know what? The number one question for the day from one of, I mean, he might be number one as a listener, as a viewer, as a consumer.
Europe one?
Europe one.
Yes.
Yes. Europe one. Back in this piece. All right. He says, Sir Ant and Lord Jason.
Oh,
I know. I feel distinguished.
I know.
I'm all special and shit. All right. So please describe your reactions to Yair's reverse elbow KO. Screaming, jumping, and breakdancing are all encouraged.
You know, I won't lie. I was tired, so I started fast forwarding a little bit in the last round, and then I fast forward and I just saw a celebration. I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna go to a decision. So I went back and watched it, and it took me replaying and watching it a few times to like really appreciate it, because it's just so out of nowhere. Like, I saw people saying the best knockout ever. Like, I don't know if I put it there, but just it's weird. Skill meets pure luck. It's like the best example of skill, because I think it was Mark LaMonica, a writer for Newsday. He put up a video of like he tried it in the third round or something like that too. So it wasn't random. He tried it once before, but just, I mean, it's skill to you try it and like deliver it with force. Because that's crazy to go up with force. But I mean, it's luck. Just because he could have hit him in the chest, the forehead. He landed right on the chin. I mean, amazing. I mean, but that's why Yair Rodriguez is fun to watch. He does a lot of unorthodox stuff. He's sort of like a 145 Israel Adesanya in certain ways. Like just fast, rangy, amazing stuff. How do you top that? It's just amazing stuff.
I feel like I was definitely in a minority watching that fight live. That I knew what happened as it happened. Like I didn't need a replay to know that elbow landed. There was an elbow thrown at that angle that knocked him out, and that's really because I've trained that particular move for a long time. It's a move in Krav Maga that's used a lot, typically for bear hug defenses. So someone comes up from behind, particular way you balance your weight and you throw that elbow back. And depending on how big the person is and how they kind of lean over you, that elbow can take more of an upward angle. And it's one of those things where I never, as long as I've trained that, I've never thought that it was actually, going to be doing knockout damage. It just was one of those things where you land the shot, you keep landing it, and you bust the face up a bit. And that should be enough of a distraction to the grip to loosen up, and you can, make your escape or provide more counterattacks. So to see him take that same posture and throw that elbow, and it caused enough force to knock somebody out, I lost my mind. My poor wife was sitting on the couch, seeing me react like a damn fool to every single fight. This was after her seeing me react like a damn fool playing video games for about 4 hours before the fight. So she just seen me act a moron for the entire day. And when that move landed, she was asleep. And I jumped up and was like, oh my God. And then she woke up, she just looked at me, was like, really? Really?
Did you get the side eye?
Oh no side eye. It was eye to eye. Like no, you
a full eye.
You screwing up, player. Like she's like, I'm gonna go to bed and you're gonna quiet that mess down. And that was that was kind of
it. Ma'am, whatever you say, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep peace in the household. Do what your wife tells you. It makes life a lot easier, my brothers. Trust me. Yeah, man. So I thought that was definitely insane, man. That was something special on multiple fronts. So and I guess since we're on this train of how incredible of a knockout it was, we're gonna follow up with a question from Wally Bear, who says, I just thought it would be nice to say it, Wally Bear, like that. I have no absolute rhyme or reason for saying it like that. So sorry, Wally Bear, if that's not how you prefer it to be pronounced. All right. So in addition, was this one of the best KOs you have ever seen? What other weird / funky and rare finishes have you seen in combat sports, like on the regional or amateur level, outside of mainstream promotions? What blew your mind? So I guess I'll start this one off.
Yeah, I got to think about it.
Yeah, so I got to think about it too. So I'm going to say a lot of nonsense to give me time to think. But no, I'm going to mess with you. So as far as being one of the best KOs I've ever seen, yes, like unequivocally, yes. KO of the year. It will take something really, really special to knock that off the KO of the year list. Quite honestly, that was a fight of the year, in my opinion. You could make an argument for comeback of the year. I still think that belongs to Derek Lewis for the Volkov fight, but there's definitely an argument to be made as far as the comeback of the year as well. So that's something that we're, as I said in my my post-fight column, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's something that we'll be talking about for a very long time. We're going to have these best of lists, and we will revisit that one. So there's that. As far as what I've seen on the regional and amateur level, I've seen some really disturbing things on the lower circuits, like as far as bad officiating. I've seen people get knocked out pretty bad and then have someone just wailing away on them while the ref just stands there and, forgets that they're clocked in. I've seen that a couple times. Probably the most wow moment for me, and this is a personal thing too, because I was involved in the action. My buddy that I was coaching for a tournament in Richmond, Virginia, he in the title fight for that weight class, he knocks a guy out but he did it off of something that we trained very specifically, except only half of it landed. And if the other half landed, it would have been ugly as sin. So essentially it was throwing a punch and then throwing a head kick off the same side. Because typically it goes punch from the left and then you kick to the right or whatever. It's that either or sort of thing. So we decided we're going to break that up, and he's going to throw a punch and he's going to throw a kick from that same side. We're like instantly. So the punch lands and the guy is out on the punch, and you see his knees buckle. He kind of drops down, but then my man's leg flew over his head so fast. Like, had that kick landed, it would have been a much worse knockout. So that was kind of my wow moment, and it happened within, I think, the first minute of the fight. So we were celebrating. We definitely celebrated that night. So.
I mean, I wrote a couple notes just to think, but I mean, I don't think there's any knockout that's as unexpected as that. I mean, you can't get more unexpected. That guy, he looked like he was ducking down and threw a punch, to defend from an attack. So I don't think you'll find anything as unexpected in terms of just great knockouts. Like the things that come to mind, like Crow Cop getting knocked out by Gonzaga with a kick, and then like the leg folding up. That was crazy just because of the status of Crow Cop. Dan Henderson knocking out Bisbing and then give him another blow to knock him further out. I love Aaron Pico. Some of his knockouts have been fantastic, especially one of the early ones, left hook to the head. The guy just, completely fell out. Another one is not a knockout, but Anthony Pettis' Showtime kick on Benson Henderson at WEC. That's another crazy one. It's tough, but yeah, most unexpected knockout I've ever seen for sure. Another one is oh man, who was it? It was way back in the early UFC, like the third or fourth season of Tough. I think it was a Tough finale. Was it Pete Sell versus Scott Smith?
Oh yeah,
He was hurt to the body, and then he rolled up on him and he hit him with the hook and knocked him out. Remember that one?
Yo, how could I forget that one? That's crazy.
Another good one too, because again, like holy shit, this guy's hurt. How is he knocking somebody else out? Those are pretty good ones. But yeah, I mean like you said before, this will be highlight reels forever. And it's weird because it's a highlight reel that's not obvious, not big and flashy. It's quick and sudden, and the highlight is just watching Chan Sung Jung, one of the great chins of all time, just straight up face planting on the ground, looking dead.
And snoring.
Yes, completely.
That. Yeah, and you know what? And I definitely want to address this too, man. Korean Zombie putting out that statement the next day while being ashamed and the people that hate him. I felt so bad reading that, because straight up and down, if you hate Korean Zombie, just jump off a bridge. just clean up the gene pool and just get yourself all the way the fuck up out of here. Korean Zombie is a treasure to the sport, man. And it's a shame that I just really think what his career could have been had he not had uninterrupted time in the sport. Yep. He spent so much time outside of the sport, and every time he's there, he delivers.
Yeah.
So if you are the inspiration for Korean Zombie putting out that really sad statement, you are ultra trash for that. You are super incredible trash, and Korean Zombie has nothing to be ashamed of. That man is a warrior. He puts it on the line every time for our enjoyment. And if you can't respect that, just please watch golf or something, man. Get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, man. So, but anything on like the regional or amateur level that stands out to you as far as like some crazy moments?
No, because I haven't been to a ton. I've been to a couple of New York Fight Exchange here in New York, but I haven't gone to a lot of regional stuff to see anything crazy. But so yeah, nothing I can ask for on that end of things.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna one up myself. For the regional and amateur story. There was one time I went to an amateur fight, and this was not me there functioning in any cornerman capacity or nothing like that. I'm just there hanging out, probably drunk. And there's this guy who fought who looked like he straight up just did not belong there. And I felt like scared for this guy. And it wasn't just the fact that his body, like he looked like he had no build They're nothing. It wasn't just that, because we've seen plenty of guys who have either, slight builds or they look fat or something like that, but they go in there and they throw hands and they get it in, and they're very, very good martial artists. But this dude, I'm telling you, he looked scared coming in. As they were introducing him, remember, he was holding his gloves up like under his chin, and he almost looked like he was shaking, and his eyes were bugged out really big. And the guy that he was fighting, whoa, this man did not care about human life. This dude was raging across that cage, and he is jacked up, and he's like just ready to just burst out and charge at him. And I swear, man, whoever let that man, the promoter should be ashamed of himself. The corner should be ashamed of itself, especially the corner. Like, that's supposed to be your guy. Take care of him. So that was the most shocking thing I saw. Yeah, it was like it was worse than Caleb Starnes and Nate Quarry. It was worse than that, because at least Caleb Starnes actually was a fighter. He just stopped fighting at a certain point. This dude, from jump, I mean, literally walking into the cage, he did not want to be there, and it was sad to watch.
Jesus.
So let's end the depression train. Let's get back to this fight talk. All right. So this actually is going to lead into our poll question for the week. So let me go ahead and pull up the results real quick. Because my computer, I got two computers today, and this other one is so garbage and it's slow, but now it's loaded up for fine. So here we go. Cool. All right. So the chat question for the week is, who should be Conor McGregor's next opponent? The options are Donald Cerrone, Khabib Nurmagomedov, the winner of Max Holloway and Brian Ortega, Nate Diaz, or the most dangerous opponent of them all, other. So right now we've got 66% in favor of Donald Cerrone, and we've got 33% in favor of Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. The people are through with Conor Khabib for the time being, and I guess Nate ain't the Diaz that's making the headline. So Nate is up out of there as well for the time being in this poll. So our question is going to tie into that. After an impressive submission victory for Cowboy against Mike Perry, he looks rejuvenated and reinvigorated. Cowboy says he's back. Is he back?
No. I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, he's still a good fighter. What's back mean? Like, is he gonna take another run for the title? No, he's not gonna be running for the title. I mean, if as long as Donald Cerrone didn't get his, put his chin out there and get it tested too much, I think we would say this was a tailor-made kind of fight for him. I'll be the first to say I thought Perry was going to win, because I thought he would push for it and he'd get to that chin, and then it ended. But Cerrone fought smart. He got taken down, but he reversed it. So is he going to be a title contender? I don't see it. I don't think so. I mean, he's like 35 years old now, right? 34, 35
something
years
like
old.
That, yeah.
He's got a kid now. Maybe that's the different kind of motivation. He's not like a part of his appeal was like that inner wild man. Now he's a nice guy. He's a dad. He's a family man. So I don't know if like the wildness and that made him such a great fighter for so long is going to be there. And he still has a lot of wear and tear. Let's not forget. Yeah, I think he has the record for wins and submissions now or something like that. He also has the record for appearances. That's a lot of time in an octagon. A lot of losses, tough losses. Fought a bunch of WC. I think he did kickboxing and Muay Thai a little bit too.
Yeah, he had one pro boxing match as well.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of miles on him, and that's a great division. Because he wants to go back to 155. He wants to go back to arguably the better of the two divisions. So he wants to cut weight again at 35 years old, 34 years old. Like, he's still a good fighter. He's still got some fun fights in him. But if we're talking relevancy for titles, no, I don't think this win. I think Mike Perry's a good, nice fighter, but somebody else brought this up with the Conor thing on Twitter, and I responded with, if you look at his last 6 wins, going back to I think it was 2013, it's like Yancy Medeiros, Mike Perry, Matt Brown, and I forgot the other ones, but it was more like brawler types. If if he gets matchups like that, sure. But if he gets matchups with high level technical people, like they throw him Anthony Pettis or something, I don't think it's gonna go well for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of stuck as I'm not sure exactly what to think on this one because I don't think he has a run in him at 170, and I think he knows that too. So he's going back to 155. Going to 155, of course, he won't be at the disadvantage size wise, but that probably is going to compromise his chin some more. I remember at one point him saying, or one of his coaches saying that the body shots that he's been susceptible to for so long, were exacerbated by the weight cut.
Right.
So you open that up, and that's could be some issues. But that being said, he still matches up very well with a lot of fighters at 155. And call me a mark, but when he called out Khabib, I'm like, I don't think he deserves a title shot. I'm not saying that, but hey, I'm here for that fight. Yeah. That still is an intriguing fight to me because you know how Khabib fights, how he's going to take you down. But Cerrone is one of the most dangerous guys on his back, and he proved that again. And I do think too, though, that this fight may have gone differently had Mike Perry not had like the worst game plan ever.
Yeah.
That was just perplexing. Like he took down Cowboy. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, nonsense.
But hey, it is what it is. I do think that Cerrone and Conor McGregor could be a great fight to make. And I think it'll be an appropriate fight for Conor, because it's going to be the sort of style that they can highlight each other. They can play to one another's strengths and put on the sort of striking battle that we really want to see Conor in and that we really want to see Cowboy in. I think also Conor's counter wrestling will be good enough to keep it off the ground and just make sure it stays in that realm. And Cowboy's a slow starter. McGregor is a very fast starter. So that is a clash. That's something that favors McGregor in a lot of ways. But of course, you can't go in there sleeping on Cowboy. I think Justin Gaethje would be a good option as well. I saw a lot of talk on Twitter about that one. That's going to be all absolute war in action.
Isn't Gaethje set up? Isn't like he's going to fight Pettis now?
Yeah, that's the fight supposed to be. I think the first ESPN show. I think that's what they're talking about.
There was it's not supposed to be for the one with Cejudo to the Dillashaw, or is there another fight that was announced that might be?
There's a couple other fights that got announced for Cejudo Dillashaw. I think now they're saying Woodley and Covington might be on that. Kuniskaya and Marion Renault just got added to that.
Okay.
I think I don't want to say Dominic Cruz and Lineker is on that card as well.
Oh yeah, heard rumblings about that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Cowboy and Conor sounds like a good fight. Gaethje sounds like a good one as well. I tell you one thing, I really would have been all for Nick Diaz returning to fight Cowboy at welterweight.
Yeah, for real.
I think that's a good fight because both guys don't deserve anything close to a title shot right now. And they're action guys, so why not? It's just a fun fight that you can put together. You can sell some tickets, you can put some butts in seats, sell a pay-per-view or two, and you don't have to disrupt the legitimate action going on in any division, be it lightweight, welterweight, or middleweight, since Nick Diaz moonlights at welterweight. So I mean at middleweight. So I think that would have been a good option too, but. Yeah.
What about this one? And it's a good fight in terms of they're both kind of not relevant, and they're legends of the sport, great strikers. What about especially at 170, Cerrone Condit?
Yeah, you know what? And I know that's a fight that I've wanted to see for a long time, but I believe they're friends from Jackson. So I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody kill me in the comments. Or Jay on the Slack chat, just hit me up if I'm wrong on this. But I think that they both shot that down years ago, that they didn't want to fight each other, and they were friends and trained a lot together. But with Cerrone split from Jackson, and Cerrone typically just fights anybody from his camp too. So maybe I was misinformed, but I would love to see that fight. I worry more about Condit in that fight than I do about Cerrone. But I think Cerrone can buy himself a little more time at 155 because because he has more favorable style matchups there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Now, question 5, and man, oh man, we are going to get really sick of this shit. So, this is kind of answering the question. Oh, we're gonna get Floyd. You know, it's the money team, baby. All right. Word is Floyd Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa is back on again. They say it'll be a 3-round exhibition boxing match. What are your thoughts about this? My thoughts are fuck out of here with that.
Yes.
Get all the way the fuck up out of here with that. Like this is absolute just bullshit to its highest degree. Yeah. I mean, straight up and down, Floyd Mayweather has robbed us all multiple times, and we've all signed up for this robbery. We signed up. We paid for him fighting Robert Guerrero, which had no business happening. Oh man,
Andre Berto fight. Oh
yeah, I that's when I put my foot down. I was like, I'm not buying this one. I put my foot down on the Berto fight. Like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this at all. Yeah. So like, we've seen this happen way too often, and now this untapped audience of kickboxing and MMA fans are just rife just ripe to be picked off the tree. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I am not here for this. I mean, if Floyd wants to challenge himself in kickboxing or MMA, hey, cool. I respect it. I will respect the hell out of it, as we alluded to last week about James Toney. Respect it all the way to challenge yourself, put yourself in harm's way, and see what you can do, and challenge yourself to be like the best fighter or martial artist you can. Respect that all day long. If Floyd Mayweather was fighting a legitimate boxer, I respect it all the way. Even if it wasn't a guy the caliber of like Errol Spence or Keith Thurman or one of those young killers out there that would give him that work now. If it was somebody that was a little lower ranked and, but it was a legit boxer, hey, I'm there for it. But you telling me this guy now, after all this damn hoopla, this guy's now going to have a exhibition match, like a 9-minute, I think they said it was a 9-minute fight against a kickboxer that he outweighs by 20 pounds. It's a boxing match? The fuck all the way out of here, man. Like, come on now. Are we really doing this? Are we really doing this again? Man, I hope this pay-per-view sells 3. I hope 3 people buy this, and that's it. Because, like, come on now. I got so many different thoughts about this, but if you fall for this one, if you fall for this foolishness, you are the dumbest person on earth. I mean, please, Jason, take it away, because I'm done with this.
I honestly have nothing to say. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about more fun stuff. Like it's just you hit everything on the head. It's stupid. It's nonsense. It's the same old. I want to make money, but I don't want to take any chances. Stuff we've been seeing for him for 15 plus years now. So the Japanese market, they like a good freak show. They like some nonsense. I mean, this is the same people that have fights with cartoon characters and MMA and people in mass. It's a wild audience. If they get their jollies off by having Floyd fight this guy, whatever, good for them. I want nothing to do with it. I do not care. If he could not get knocked out, that'd be wonderful for the entire world. And then he would just go away. He wouldn't want to lose again, but I just don't care anymore.
And the thing is, this isn't even a freak show fight. What is the appeal of this? This is not a freak show fight.
Well, it's a freak show because he's turned it into a freak show in that he's taking away any threat. Like he's dismantling half this kid's game, so it becomes just stupid, and it's an exhibition, so that means even if he somehow lost, it wouldn't count on his record. So it's a freak show of like competitive ethics. It's like ridiculous.
The freak show of the lowest stakes known to man. Like what?
Yes.
I just don't get it. Like even if if anything, just mix up the rules a little bit. or just stay retired.
Yeah.
Or just stay all the way the fuck out of the ring or out of the cage or whatever they're gonna do, whatever sort of enclosure they're gonna be in. Stay out of that and stay on the business side. Promote your staple of fighters at Mayweather Productions or Mayweather Promotions. I mean, promote your staple of fighters. There are a lot of good fighters there.
Yep.
Hey, Tank Davis could use some love right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Like, I'd be more intrigued if he was like doing a WWE or New Japan match or something like that. That'd be more interesting than this shit, honestly.
Yeah, and you don't, and I wouldn't put it past him if this was just a work anyway. I wouldn't put it past him at all. He's done pro wrestling in the past, so hopefully this story is completely buried until New Year's Eve when I don't watch it. So there's that. All right, so we'll go on with another question. This is from another regular contributor, Jack on Fire. Okay. He says, so it looks like Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington is being targeted for UFC 233 in Anaheim. 1, who wins? 2, what do you think the promotion of this fight is going to be?
Good questions, Jack. Good questions. I mean, first of all, let's see if it even happens. I'm starting to genuinely feel like Colby's avoiding the fight for a long time now. But if the fight happens, I can't see how. Hey, underscore.
Yeah, I finally fixed it.
Third. But I can't. I think this is tailor-made for Tyron. I know Colby pushes a big pace, and there's always been some. Tyron's cardio's been okay, not great, not bad, fine. His explosive, his power, his wrestling. I just feel like this is tailor-made for just Tyron to just wreck this guy. Aside from that, because interesting, I had an interesting conversation with Eddie Alvarez recently, and he talked about that he feels in the American market, fans almost feel like the fight is less important, and it's more about the grudge, the story, the shit talk, as he said, and all that stuff. And I almost feel like this is one of those fights. Like, this is gonna in the era of a Trump presidency, this is one of those going to appeal to the lowest common denominator, ugly nonsense. Like, I would love to see the UFC try to be above that, maybe, and not try to push the ship, because Colby's gonna make it disgusting. So, and that's gonna become a sideshow, and that's gonna probably be bigger and better than, well, not better, but more appealing to some than the fight's actually gonna be, because I think it's gonna be one-sided. And in that way, it's going to be disgusting to cover. It's going to be ugly, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Tyron probably. I'm looking forward to a good fight, but God, it's going to be like a fucking Stormy Daniels lawsuit ugly. Access Hollywood tape video ugly. Like, it's just going to be yuck.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the promotion for this fight. I'm really not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being there, especially if it takes place in Anaheim. That's the same day as the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix. But 2 UFC title fights and the Cruz Lineker and all that, that's probably going to get me over to the UFC fight.
Graves should cut the check so I can go out there. You go to one, I go to the other. We meet in the middle, talk about it. Crave, cut the check.
Cut the damn check. Man, this man, Jason Burgos, Captain Credential, just gave you a very good idea, and y'all gonna fuck around and mess it up. So, yeah, man, Crave, cut the check. Stop playing. Stop playing these damn games. Cut this check, bro. Yep. Sick of this, Mr. Crave. Yep. Mr. Crave, you need to wise up. You need to wise up. Yeah, man. So, as far as the fight itself, I think Tyron smashes him. I don't see any path to victory for Covington other than trying to push a pace. But pushing a pace with Tyron is a very dangerous thing. Ask Darren Till what that feels like.
Yeah.
Ask Condit what that feels like. You try to push your agenda on Woodley. He responds in devastating fashion. So I just don't see where Covington has an advantage. Like, Covington is an excellent wrestler for MMA. So is Woodley.
Yeah.
Covington is not nearly the striker that Woodley is, as far as power, as far as precision, as far as just pure technique, not the same. I think Tyron manhandles him in the clinch as well. I just don't see competitively where that fight favors Covington at all. But as far as the buildup goes, I mean, you all know my politics on this, so I'm not even gonna make it about my personal beliefs. But just in general, we saw how UFC 229 was promoted. We saw the bus footage of people really getting hurt and assaulted, and having undue violence thrown at them. Literally thrown, didn't mean that as a pun, but yeah, but I was like, oh, that was kind of fly right there. I made that up. But yeah, so we've seen the UFC use that as a promotional tool. After the brawl at 229, Dana White was not apologetic about that at all. That despite the ugliness that ramping up on this sort of these actions and these thought processes turned into, despite that, he sat there moments after that brawl and said, "Hey, it's part of the story, whatever." And it was such a dismissive, pass the buck attitude. There is absolutely no way in hell. While I see the UFC's Twitter feed going off and constantly posting up about this Trump documentary, we know
executive. What's it called? Executive. I forgot.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then we know Dana White and Donald Trump have a close friendship. That he brought Covington as the soon to be stripped fake champion. To the White House to parade the belt that was going to be meaningless 2 weeks later. So we've seen this marriage before, and we all know what I know. I get enough of the comments on social media and the comments on some of my articles about my personal politics and whatnot. So it is what it is. We know that fan base is very strong in the MMA world. That the MAGA group is very strong in the MMA world. So I don't see why the UFC would shy away from it. They don't care about the potential repercussions as far as danger that lies in that. As long as they have enough insurance on the venue and they've got the security, whatever, then that's all right, fine. Everything else is a go. So we've seen them take that attitude. And we're talking about dealing with, Russian oligarchs and mercenaries and warlords and Irish gangsters and drug dealers and whatnot. And they didn't care about that. So I don't think they're going to care about, I'm not even going to say anything to, where I'm trying not to go with this. So I don't think they're going to shy away from that one bit. And I tell you one thing, Tyron Woodley or Colby Covington will not shy away from this either. Colby Covington's going to play it like a fiddle. And while he'll be playing a character, and he may not even, I honestly not even sure if he even really holds all these political beliefs, or he is just trying to, make a name for himself in the most controversial way he can think of. But Tyron Woodley is about that life. So this is a guy who was protesting in Ferguson, his hometown, for Black Lives Matter. And this is a guy who is donated to charitable causes involving social justice, and a guy who on TMZ was speaking out against Trump. He's not going to shy away from the ugliness on this. He'll meet it head on. And after seeing Woodley, Cormier, and John Jones headline 214 and being amongst that crowd, when I sat out there on the floor and even, going into the event and everything, I've never seen that many brothers in my life at an MMA event. Never in my life.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
And Orange County, to those who are unaware, Orange County's got a lot of that racist foolishness going on. Orange County is not Los Angeles. Okay. So I think those two elements can meet and things can get very ugly. Very ugly. So the UFC will be missing out on a lot of money if they don't go this route. But man, that money may not be worth it. At the end of the day. So think long and hard about how this fight is going to be promoted and where we choose to stand as human beings, because this goes beyond the fight game, in my opinion.
Let me also bring up two things, like on the fight aspect of it again, and because I completely agree with you on. I just think I don't see how Colby really wins this fight. Is one, if he wants to push a pace, that's fine. Tyron is a guy who doesn't mind backing up to the cage and is quite comfortable with backing the cage. And you want to come at him, he's explosive enough to come right back with some hot fire. So, I mean, that's not going to be a bad thing. The only thing I think, honestly, the only thing I think would give Colby a chance is just Tyron finally got old. I mean, we can't forget, what is he, 36 now?
35, I think. I think he's 35.
I figure he's a little older, but he's also, I interviewed Dean Thomas a couple times. The last time I interviewed him before the Till fight, and he's had surgeries on both his shoulders, so he's got a lot of wear and tear. I mean, he's getting older.
Yeah. The light went out again.
But Colby, if he gets old, that's the only thing he can hope for. Tyron finally just gets old and isn't as good as we thought anymore. And that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to, when I'm off camera, I'm trying to wave and move. So this motion, the motion detector just doesn't sense me for some reason. I don't know. I'm just cold blooded, I guess. I don't know.
Incognito.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So I guess I got something to look forward to in Anaheim. Wow, that should be fun. Yeah. So, and I'll probably be the only black guy there, media anyway. I don't know. Maybe be somebody else. We'll see.
Cut the check, Crib. I'll go.
Yeah, maybe one other black guy will get hired to do MMA media. Maybe one other. Yeah, it's like me and like 3 other guys. January 26th.
Yeah, Tyron will be 36, 3 months away from his 37th birthday.
Yeah. So that should.
That's crazy. He doesn't look 37.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, man. Black don't crack. You know what it is. All right. So, question 7 or 6 from Purple Storm. What's your favorite fight coming up before the end of this year?
I think that's easy. And I think we'll probably agree on this. It's one of the best fights all year, any year, Ortega Holloway. I mean, that is it's a super fight in a weird way. It's an own division of super fight. 2 of the best in the world. They happen to be in the same division. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other answer to that question. I really don't. I'll try to think of something really quick.
There's not much left this year, honestly.
Yeah, it's like the year's about to end. I mean, I'm definitely this upcoming card in Argentina isn't exactly jumping off the page at me with a whole lot. But I'll take a quick look.
You know what fight I'm intrigued by? It's gonna go under the radar. I'm hoping I can get some interviews for it and stuff like that. But intrigued. It's not a major fight, but intrigued is Chandler versus Primus, because I want to see that rectified. This guy with the drop foot in the fight, and it was weird, and the fight ended in an odd way. So I want to see if Chandler can get revenge and avenge that weirdness and get the title back, or maybe Primus is legit and he's the future of the division. But either way, I want to see that kind of weird moment in time get fixed. So I'm looking forward to that one. And also, speaking of Bellator, Ilima-Lei Macfarlane and Turno, that's a great fight in that.
Yeah,
Ilima-Lei Macfarlane is becoming one of the faces of their promotion. Very, very good fighter. This is the test. She really hasn't had a real good test. Laternal's a test, because now Laternal's at 125. She's not dehydrating hard to get to 115. This is the test. A veteran, very good striker, coming from a top camp. I want to see if Ilima-Lei beats her. She's already starting to get good ratings for Bellator. She could be definitely one of their stars in the next decade.
All right, so I guess because Holloway Ortega is just such the obvious one. Yeah. I guess if we're gonna talk main events, I'm really looking forward to Kevin Lee Iaquinta 2.
Yes.
That should be a very, very interesting fight to see how different these two guys are after their first fight. Yeah. And Kevin Lee has grown so much as a fighter. Iaquinta has had some good things happen, but he just hasn't been as active due to his contract disputes with the UFC. So I'm very curious what that looks like. But as far as non-main event, my sleeper pick, I'm probably going to go Kat Zingano and Megan Anderson. I'm really, really interested in that fight. every time Katzengano fights, I'm fully tuned in. I think she's incredibly exciting to watch. Megan Anderson as well is very good to watch, and I think those two just their combination forms a lot of action.
Oh, you know what I forgot? Cyborg and Nunes.
Yeah, Cyborg Nunes. Yeah, it's wow. How we forget Cyborg Nunes? Yeah, that's
totally
that's gonna be great.
Oh wait, and damn, good. Good question. Who gave this question?
Purple Storm.
Because you know what? Also forgetting, damn, because I was there. Isn't John Jones Gustafson still this year?
Yeah, John Jones Gus is on that same card. That's the main event for Nunes Cyborg. I'm looking forward to that fight, just not as much as Holloway Ortega. Like that's high on the list, like of course, but it just doesn't do as much for me as Holloway Ortega. And quite frankly, I think Lee Iacanta might be the better, more exciting fight at the end of the day.
Also, can I just give you a lot of credit for saying Megan Anderson? I would have totally botched that and been American and said Megan Anderson. Good job, Anthony.
Well, thank you. I met her before I became a member of the esteemed Sherdog staff that Crave has yet to cut the check for. So I met her at an Invicta event, her and her coach James Krause. So I definitely got the pronunciation right in that meeting and never left me since. So yeah, so Megan Anderson Katzengano is my sleeper pick for the rest of the year. So tune into that one. All right, so let's see. We got another question. This is from the White Beast. Okay.
White Beast. Well, that would have been the perfect name to follow up the Colby Covington Woodley stuff.
That would have been perfect. Yeah, so the White Beast asks, is John Jones getting tested like crazy by USADA this time around? I'm going to start this off if you don't mind, Jason.
Please do.
Because
I'm getting mad.
Yeah, considering that he was barely tested during his suspension, I think he might have been tested once, if that. No, I don't. I mean, maybe they'll do it for shits and giggles and appearances, but there's clearly a breakdown in the legitimacy of what USADA does by this whole John Jones fiasco, and that's not necessarily to point the finger at John Jones. It's pointing the finger at USADA. Yeah. So there's something wrong, something deeply, deeply broken in the way this system operates and the motivations behind it. And at this point, I don't give a rat's ass about USADA. I'm sorry. I just don't. And it's a shame because it's something that could be very good for the sport if it's implemented in the correct way, but it's clearly not. It's clearly not. USADA seems to be a function. The appeal process seems to be a function of how much money you have. And quite frankly, if you're John Jones, you can afford the Johnny Cochran small glove. You know, if you're take random fighter X who got popped for something, hey, you're just gonna have to take that punishment. So I really don't know, and I know, of course, money is one of the big things that makes the world itself unequal, and mixed martial arts is just an extension of the rest of the world. I get that, but hey, I don't talk about the extension of the rest of the world. I talk about MMA. All right, so I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I talked to Roy Nelson before his last fight, and he, asked him about USADA and all that kind of stuff because he's outspoken. I mean, he's under the full belief that the UFC can kind of, influence them, and like we kind of need this guy to fight if you can get this happen, and make it happen. I mean, and it almost feels like USADA and the World Anti-Doping Agency, they kind of just almost need to just be blown up. It's not going to happen, but they really need to start from scratch because USADA is just a smaller American version of WADA, and WADA is the same group that suspended all Russian athletes after they blatantly cheated, I believe, at the Sochi Olympics. I mean, there's a great documentary on Netflix about like the scientist who was leading the cheating, and he was like the one of the people working for like the drug agency in Russia for the Olympics, and what they did and kind of stuff. And they kind of gave him a slap on the wrist, let him back into the Olympics, let him back into the whole thing. Just gave him a small suspension. They're back in. Like, if you can't trust WADA, how are you gonna trust USADA? And it's just you almost need something completely new and independent. And then the sad thing is now you have. I mean, instead of weird suspensions like happened to Chad Mendez, now you're getting suspensions that are getting taken back because, oops, I made a mistake. Oh, no, it was partial. All this. And then there's inconsistency. Some guys get a whole bunch of time. John Jones gets like a short amount. It just, yeah, there's no legitimacy in it. Short answer, he's not going to get tested a lot. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You know what? Definitely. This is going to take us down another path, and I'm glad. It was one word that you said, consistency, and then it was like, bing, the light went off in my head of something I wanted to share with everyone today. So first, let me get we'll put the USADA thing to bed. So yeah, there's no consistency in what's being done. There's precedent that keeps getting set, and then it keeps getting destroyed somehow and keeps getting refined. And, granted, this is a new sort of thing, but I mean, it should have been implemented a lot better than this. I have zero faith in it at this point.
Yep.
And that's just what it is. Quite frankly, I don't see USADA lasting very long in the UFC. I think it was something that the Fertitta brothers pursued to up the value so it can have a nice sale attached to it to the tune of $4.2 billion. And it gives this air of legitimacy to the sport, but it's not carried out in a legitimate fashion. So it is therefore a moot point, in my opinion. So as far as consistency, I think the most inconsistent thing that we have going on right now, I don't know if you saw this, but the Nevada Athletic Commission has decided that they are going to not actually play by the new unified rules. And I use the word unified loosely because this is completely contrary to the word unified itself. So not only are they not following the new unified rules, they're going to modify that. So it's changing the definition of a ground opponent to, and I'm not even going to try to go through all these different iterations of it, but either your finger is weight bearing, or your hand is weight bearing, or it's two hands, or this is stupid. This is all stupid. Nevada, once again, you are dummies. Nevada Athletic Commission, get your shit together. So I'm not quite understanding how we're supposed to run a functioning sport if the rules are different across state lines. And I know I've been down this train before. I'm pretty sure we talked about this before because I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But now you've made it worse. So now in the same damn country, you have 3 different sets of rules. Granted, now this third set that Nevada came up with, I don't think it's active yet. I think they have to go through one more piece through the legislature or something, and then it's going to be official, and it's expected to pass. So we're going to have 3 different sets of rules in the same country. Really? How fucking stupid is this? Please tell me the point in having rules if they change all the fucking time. What can we just throw unified all the way out of here? Throw unified all the way out of here. Just stop it. Don't say that word again. Straight up and down, every time we watch an MMA match and they say the unified rules are this and this, I get angry every time. I get angry every time. My wife is so sick of me cursing at the damn TV when they say unified rules. And when they say this state has not adopted the new unified rules, I'm like, it's not unified then. Just knock that shit off. Can we have one rule set for the same country? I get it. Go to Japan, soccer kick all day. That's fine. You know what? So I think this is the times. This times where the promotions need to step up in some way and not pass the buck to the athletic commissions. Let's look at one, which was then ONE FC. Let's look at their example. Do you remember that strange fight between Andre Arlovsky and Tim Sylvia, where Arlovsky soccer kicked Tim Sylvia, but it wasn't at the time where he was allowed to soccer kick. And it got ruled a no contest. So fights like wiped off their record. That's what it was. Well, the rule they had was that you could only soccer kick if the ref gave you some signal. And I guess the down opponent had to be in some particular sort of position.
Yeah.
And then the ref would have to just like wave his hand or something like that. And that was the signal that you could soccer kick. Well, that shit's confusing. So after a debacle of a I believe that was a main event of a debacle of a main event where the rare time they had two former UFC champions in their building headlining under their banner, they got rid of that rule. And they just said, hey, let's just soccer kick because soccer kick. And it makes a lot of sense because it's not something you should have to think about. And think about the refs too. We get on these refs all the time about bad calls. We get on these refs I can't remember the ref's name from the Chaz Kelly fight over the weekend, but everybody was killing him on social media about all this stuff. And we get down these refs' backs all the time about this. And we get down on the fighters. Oh, you cheated. You did this. He's grabbing the fist. If the damn rules don't change, there's not extra stuff to think about. When you're teaching principles of fighting, and maybe this is more so from the self-defense realm, which is where most of my experience comes from. But in self-defense, you're taught things in a very simple fashion. So you don't have a lot of options to run through. You don't have extra thoughts. You just do it. You know, when you start providing extra options, you have a paralysis of analysis. You think too much before things happen, and that's how shit messes up. So please explain to me why you are giving these men, these women, these fighters, these officials, everyone involved, why are you giving them extra things to think about? Why are you giving them extra things that simply complicate the action? And you don't just have a fight, be a fight. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so tired of these so-called unified rules being divided. I use different words, at least. You know, think about the times, I believe North Carolina, I know this still exists, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the UFC has been back to North Carolina since. There was a fight where I remember the UFC. I was injured. I had my broken leg. I was in the cast watching this in bed. I want to say it was Roy Nelson and Stefan Struve, perhaps. Maybe that was a main event. But anyway, they had a same-day weigh-in along with they had the same-day weigh-in. And from what I remember, it ended up being kind of a mess. And UFC didn't come back there. So if you have all these strange-ass rules, you have all these nuances and exceptions and dumb things that go from one state to the next, stop going there. Or mandate your own rule set. As long as it falls within the quote unquote unified rules, follow that. Some level of consistency and uniformity would be very helpful. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just having 3 sets of rules in the same country sounds real dumb to me. It sounds real stupid, and I'm real fucking sick of it. I'm tired. Can I go on a Twitter rant about something else sometimes? Shit, man. All right, yeah, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. That just pissed me off. All right, so here we go. UFC Fight Night in Argentina this weekend. Who you got? Lamas versus Elkins, Magny versus Ponzinibbio.
It really feels like Lamas is heading in that, and heading into the sunset part of his career. So I'll go with Elkins in this. I mean, Lamas is a really, really good fighter, a really good 45er from the last, decade or so. I mean, but he's heading in the twilight time. So I'll pick Elkins in that one. And Magny versus Ponzinibbio. Magny's such a weird fighter sometimes, man. He could be real good fighters, or that he lays in eggs other times. Ponzinibbio is the guy on the rise. he still needs to continue to get those big wins to prove that he's for real. He is one to watch. He is a threat for the championship. I believe he's a headliner because he's from Argentina, right?
Yeah, he's
so he has
from
a
Argentina.
hometown element, which it is a factor, especially in fighting. I mean, I'll pick Ponzinibbio. I mean, if Magny won, would I be surprised? No, because he's that kind of guy that he can surprise you. And on the nights, he's just like, how the hell? What the hell? Like against Dos Anjos. So it's like, man, how? I think he should win. He's got so much length. Dos Anjos is good. Dos Anjos, he's like tripped. Dos Anjos got down, could not get back up, and he lost. He's a weird fight like that. So I'll pick Ponzinibbio. Hometown. He's a good fighter. He's on the rise. Confidence is strong. I'll go with him.
Yeah, I'm agree with you on Ponzinibbio. Like you sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get from Neil Magny. He is consistently a good fighter. At the very least, we give him that. But Ponzinibbio, man, just is surging right now. I don't see that momentum being halted by Magny. The hometown advantage hopefully doesn't turn into a hometown disadvantage. But I think Ponzinibbio is going to rise to the occasion, and I think he's also just overall the more dangerous guy.
Yeah.
And that's normally going to sway my pick if you just have more weapons, or at least you're deadlier with those weapons. So I think Ponzinibbio should get that. Not sure if he gets the finish, but wouldn't surprise me either way. I think Ponzinibbio is going to do the damn thing Saturday. As far as Lamas and Elkins, I'm with you on that one too. I'm going to have to go with Elkins. Lamas for all the great things he's done, I don't think that time is lasting very long. Elkins has absorbed some serious damage in his career as well, but I think he's got some more miles left in him. That probably will make the difference. And Elkins is also one of those guys who just smells blood. And the moment he's got like that little sliver of hope, man, he's on you. I don't think Lamas is going to survive that one. I think Elkins gets a late finish in this one. So those are our Argentina picks.
Yeah, and to add to, I'm like looking at the Sherdog. I mean, Lamas has lost a couple fights in a row, and Elkins lost his last fight to Volkanovski in a decision. But before that, my man had a 6-fight losing streak. The funniest thing is they're around the same age, but it's two guys around the same age, yet you feel like they're going in very kind of different directions at this point in their career,
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So Elkins, I expect him to do it. The man with the worst tattoo in mixed martial arts.
Worse than Brock's chest piece?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Both of them are terrible. Oh, that is awful. Like, why would you do that?
What about Benson's Henderson's wings?
No, those are dope. Those are dope.
I don't
man.
like angel wings tattoos because let's be real, angel wings are humongous. They're not little wings that they fit on a back. Like wings are big.
Well, if the wings are folded in, it's okay. It's like
too little.
No, it's like when Archangel, when he opens his wings and it bursts through his coat or something. It's like that.
But even you could kind of see them from the back. You can see from the front. They're peeking out. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Ben Henderson is also just a human. So
I guess.
It's just a measly mortal. I don't know. But so I guess while we this is our we had our tribute to Stan Lee and the Marvel universe and whatnot. So actually before we get into that, Jay wanted to add in Alan Belcher's Johnny Cash tattoo. Yes. That is so incredibly trash. God. That is a horrible tattoo. It looks like Johnny Cash as a Simpsons character or something. It looks crazy.
Man. Classics.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But Jay also wanted us to answer this question. He says, if you were a Marvel character, which one would you be?
It's funny, and that's why I love comic books and Marvel, and I like DC stuff too, but I'm a Marvel kid. Like, I would have given you a different answer in different parts of my life. Like, when I was really little, I might have said Wolverine. When I hit like maybe 12, 13, I might have said Spider-Man. When I got to 20s, I might have went away from Marvel. I might have said like Green Lantern, but like now I'm feeling I'm not sure what I'm feeling. It's a tough one. Like, there's so many great options. I mean, I love Daredevil, but I don't want to be blind, so I don't want to go with Daredevil.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I always loved Magneto. Magneto's power is just awesome. Like that ability to move metal, move all kinds of things. I mean, things like Hulk is cool, but it's too easy, and I don't want to have to go through a wardrobe all the time.
Yeah, it's not practical neither, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, Spider-Man's still pretty awesome. Dude's strong. He can hit the webs. He's got a lot of, he crawl walls, all kinds of things. I mean, and maybe you get into some more obscure kind of people, like Iceman's cool. Like I like that. Like, I could travel on ice, move around. And Nightcrawler, the ability to poof, bam,
teleport
in and out.
But you look real crazy though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question, Jay. And Punisher, Punisher's a dude.
I love Punisher.
Like Punisher's great, but him and Iron Man, they're just dudes. They don't have power. They're just will and genius, Let me look at my plethora of comics, see if I can get some inspiration here.
All right, so while you're doing that,
Ghost Rider, that'd be fun.
Ghost Rider, but yeah, Ghost Rider's pretty cool.
Because you can turn it off and on. You want to fuck me? I go Fire Skull on your ass. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and nice Harley too.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange's good.
Doctor Strange is a really good one because he's so powerful and he can do a lot of different things. He can tangle with anybody with his powers. Doctor Strange is a very, very good pick. But I do like where you're going as far as different times in your life thinking different things. Mm-hmm. So as a child, I probably would have said Gambit because he was my favorite of the X-Men. I love Gambit.
Yes.
Big Gambit fan. So and Rogue was probably, if Rogue in real life, I mean, not the portrayal of her in the movies, because I think she was horribly miscast. Yes. But if you cast Rogue right, she's probably fine. So and Gambit, Gambit was with that. So I'm like, all right, I'll be Gambit. Then I guess as I got older, the Punisher became my favorite character. Mm-hmm. I love the Punisher. Punisher's still my absolute favorite character, but I'm a married man now. I don't want my wife to get killed. I don't want to be the Punisher. I want my family. I love my folks. I don't need nobody to die. So now I have two choices, or three. I should say three choices. Iron Man, because he's rich and he's smart and sarcastic. And I like being sarcastic if you haven't been able to tell. Mm-hmm. My other choice be Luke Cage, because hey, powerful black dude, bulletproof, be very helpful out here in these streets with these cops.
Especially Orange County.
Yes, be very, very helpful. And LA as well. Yes, very helpful to be bulletproof from these cops. Mm-hmm. And then Black Panther, because rich like Iron Man, strong, powerful, great fighter, intelligent, a world leader, and could affect change in the world. So those would be my three guys that I would pick if I had to be someone in the Marvel universe. But yeah, it'll be that. So
let me also let me give a shout out to militant Cyclops, like badass Malcolm X style Cyclops from like the last 7-8 years.
Not punk Cyclops that was getting bullied by Wolverine.
Nope, not that. The guy he went from Jean Grey to that White Queen, all my Emma Frost. That Cyclops, I would be that guy because he was a leader. He had cool powers, and White Queen's hot.
Cyclops hit Emma Frost.
Oh, they were together. She.
I didn't realize that. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. Yep. Cyclops out there doing the damn thing. Yep. Salute to Cyclops. He was the cast off of the Marvel universe, and found out the man got some game.
Yeah, he had the balls to take the X-Men to their own like island nation in the San Francisco Bay, Utopia. He actually had Magneto join the team, Namor joined the team. The best, most powerful iteration of the X-Men had Namor, Magneto, Wolverine, Cyclops leading it all. Straight gangster. He even had the Phoenix Force for a little bit.
Man, and I'm telling you, and to get Namor on your side, because Namor just doesn't like anybody. So Namor's a jackass.
Yes.
So
in the MCU, Iron Man's leaving. They need an asshole. That's the guy.
Yeah, he is the one. He is the guy that's going to be a jerk. Yep. So yeah, man, I guess that'll wrap it up for this week. So let's go ahead and tell everyone what you got coming up, Mr. Burgos.
I got some good stuff. I mean, please go check it out. This has been one of those weeks where it's like, this is why I like doing this stuff, and it makes me excited. And I hope I can. I really wish I could do it for a full-time career thing for many more years. But got to speak to Demetrius Johnson. I've got some big things in the irons in the fire for with one release. I've got to talk to Demetrius Johnson, which was great. One of the biggest, best interviews I've had. Go check that interview out. You know, I asked some questions about if he would have went to bantamweight, what and issues with Dana White, what he likes about Asian MMA, what he likes about Juan. You know, Patricio Pitbull, that article's up. He's fighting tonight in Israel, which of course on tape delay, that's a good one because he's talking about his frustrations with Bellator. He feels he's under promoted, which he has an interesting case. If you look at the numbers of the fights he's headlined, I put that in there. Erin Blanchfield, she's fighting in Invicta tomorrow night. Blue chip prospect, won the Eddie Bravo Invitational, surprised the world last year. She works with John Danaher. She grew up kickboxing and doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so she's a well-rounded threat. Then I have what's the other one I have? Connery Gracie, Hoist Gracie's son, also fighting on that same Bellator card for him. Interviewed him. Talked to Eddie Alvarez. That article should be coming soon. Very exciting. Talked to him about why he chose one. Interesting stuff. Why he likes the MMA in Asia. There's some real good stuff coming. That also, hopefully, Misha Tate, new VP, brand ambassador. Going to try to talk to her. But the big one that I'm excited about now, it may not be one that's exciting to the fans, but exciting if you know the industry and influencers. Monday morning, I'm going to get to talk to Chakri Sit-Yang-Tong, chairman of One Championship. That's exciting. I'm pumped for that. I'm honored that they let me talk to him. And, you know, One is doing big things. I've slept on One, like because they don't have a TV deal here. I'm not getting the app. I haven't watched enough One, but One, for you who don't know, people don't know, One is UFC Asia. They're as big. They are doing huge money things. They have a recent valuation, and I think there's a story in Variety. They're worth $1 billion based on all their different, you know, liquidity and all that stuff. You know, I think they're going to turn a big profit for the first time this year. They're signing Demetrius Johnson to new deals. Eddie Alvarez, flirting with Sage Northcutt.
The esports deal is huge.
Esports deal, yes,
that is massive.
TV deal in the U.S. You know, in the Forbes article, Sit-Yang talked about this. So they're big, and that's something to look out for. And I'm excited to get to interview him. And that's about it. Also, I changed my Cheap Seat name on Twitter. I also have a Cheap Seats on Instagram. So I'm Cheap Seats on both. There's no divide. A house is not divided. Cheap Seats chat on Twitter and on Instagram. Look me up.
Oh, good, because I still didn't know how to pronounce the Instagram name you had before. I still had no idea, and you done told me so many times now. Yeah. It just didn't stick. All right, all right. So Europe wanted one last question for me. Oh. He asked, would Ant not want to be Ant-Man? Ant-Man's pretty cool.
He is. Well, they made him way cooler now.
Scott Lang is cool. Hank Pym is a jerk. So
and for you, who has a wife, Hank Pym hit his wife.
Exactly. Like, I'm not that guy.
No.
No. That is not how I gets down. I'm not Thiago Silva in this one. No. Okay, so all right, let's so what I have coming up. So I just dropped the Marvel MMA crossover article in tribute of Stan Lee, RIP. Got a shout out to the man Ben Duffy for getting some of the artwork. Jay as well added an art piece on that. So shout out to those two gentlemen for their assistance in that one. For anybody who wants to input on this, go ahead, comment on it, hit me on Twitter or whatever. I can make future editions, so I'm open to suggestions. Be a fun thing, nice way to merge two things that I love a lot. So looking forward to getting back writing on that one. Ask Ant should be coming out tomorrow morning. I know we've got there are a couple of questions I saw that are very good questions that we didn't get a time to get to today. So I'll get to those and ask Ant. So check that in the morning. Also, Good, Bad, and Ugly for UFC Buenos Aires shall be available Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, depending on how sleepy I am after the event. And I think that about do it. You know where to find the man, Jason Burgos. Follow him at Cheap Seats Chat on Twitter, and now Cheap Seats Chat on Instagram as well. So gotta love the synergy there. I am Ant Walker. You can follow me at Ant Walker MMA on Twitter and Instagram. And until then, you know what to do. Enjoy the fights. Stay sexy. Peace.